Cornucopias is a cutting-edge open-world MMO set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit.
Hey everybody, welcome to Copi Cafe. This is episode 99 and you've got Rob Gregg here and Josh Jones. And I think it's going to be a fun episode, and obviously with it being 99, there's a special announcement that number 100 will not come out for a couple of weeks. We're going to do that at Rare Evo. So just want to give you guys a heads up that this is the last Copi Cafe until the Rare Evo conference. And then we'll see you again then for sure. A couple good topics today. We're going to talk about nodes. There's rewards coming. We're going to talk about our stake pool, the COPIC, COPIC stake pool. We're talking about the new release that came out recently with leaderboards, a little bit about Vegas in the next build. And then, of course, we've got a leak and some questions for you guys. So, yeah, let's kick it off. Rob, what are you drinking today?
Episode 99. Yeah, I feel Callum should edit 99 red balloons over the top of this episode.
Sure. Go for it.
Well, today, double strength orange juice. And I always forget it's double strength. I just still pour it normally. But very nice.
What does that mean, double strength orange juice?
It means instead of tipping like a little bit, you can put half as much. So in theory, it's supposed to go twice as long, but you always forget and you always put the same amount in. And then it's like, whoa, this is strong.
Oh, so you need to dilute it with water.
But twice as much as normal. No,
gotcha.
No way. You only need to pour half as much in. It's supposed to make
concentrate.
That's the word. Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, I'm having my typical iced coffee since we're shooting a little earlier in the day today. And this iced coffee is also concentrate. It needs to be diluted so it's 50% water, 50% concentrate.
Nice.
All right, there we go. Well, that was fun. So the nodes rewards are coming up, and there's been a lot of work around getting our nodes claiming set up, and I think we're doing okay on timing for that. What are your thoughts?
We are the only thing we've got left to do is mint the team nodes,
team and marketing.
And marketing. That's final. We think the final number is going to be 9,000 nodes.
I think that's about accurate. Don't hold us to that, but that's what we're likely going to be at.
The current number. I should have had this. I'll quickly check on the registrations. Might have to edit this bit out.
Oh, the number of people that are registered and not.
Yeah.
And good to go for rewards. Yeah, we're gonna. I don't want to have one upset person, because if you don't register, if you're not set up, then we're not doing retroactive. You've missed out. So that is something we have to hold strict to.
72% at the moment. 72%.
72%?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get those numbers up.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's up to those
Yeah.
guys.
That concerns me a little bit because I just don't
You have
want.
to have them registered by midnight UTC, 31st of July, and you will receive the whole of July's rewards.
Yep. Okay. Only 72%. That's, well, it's July 25th. We got 5 days, I guess, or 6 days. Okay. Yeah. So if you are watching this and have not registered your nodes, go to the website, go to the manage nodes section, make sure your wallet's linked up and get your nodes registered and activated. If you have any questions, jump into our Discord. Plenty of people in there that have already done it that can get you helped out. But yeah, that's essential to get those registered. Otherwise, you're not going to receive them. And there's no coming back to us 3 days later and saying, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up. I was out of town, or no, we just can't do that. We can't get into managing it that way, because then it's like we're reviewing this case by case basis. It just won't work. We have to be black and white here. You're registered or you're not. If you're not registered, well, get registered for the next time and you won't miss those rewards.
The latest you should really be looking at it is a couple of days before. Raise the tickets. Because if you start raising them at, say, 10, 11 p.m., like an hour or two before, that's midnight in the UK where the sport is going to be. We cannot guarantee anybody's going to be around.
Yeah, yeah. I hate to have to be like that, but this is being built to create value for Cornucopias, and that has to, for the ecosystem. You're literally, we're stepping in a direction of these nodes will be eventually running our node software and helping build out the Cornucopias ecosystem and reduce game download times and all of that good stuff. So it's essential that to receive the rewards, you're following the directions and moving into this process with us. So thank you all for participating in the sale, and we look forward to getting you this first round of rewards. Next up is the stake pool, COPIC stake pool. We are going to up the rewards one last time to 125%. Well, actually, it's a 25% bonus. So I think it's been at a 15% bonus of Copi tokens. We're now upping that to a 25% bonus of Copi tokens. So if you're staked, you stake your ADA to our COPIC stake pool. That is a 100% fees or whatever, which means we would keep all of the ADA, and then instead you get the Copi with a 25% bonus on that.
We keep the ADA rewards. They keep their own ADA. That
right,
remains in their wallet. That remains in their wallet.
You're never risking your own ADA. No, correct. You're just sacrificing your ADA rewards, and then you get a Copi bonus of 25% on top of what that exchange would be for.
Yeah, whatever that ADA is worth, we'll give you the Copi equivalent, 125%.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. Then, get in there. If you're not staking in our pool, please jump over and participate with us. The new release, that's our next topic. The one that, the recent release.
Yep.
I think it went well. I was going to say really well when we released it finally to the public.
It was hard. There's a lot going into that.
That was one of the hardest ones that we have, and nobody has any context on why, really. But I think a big part of the why for that was so many things coming together, like the database, the leaderboards, and it just introduced a lot of new variables and a lot of new complications. I would say that's the majority of it. Would you agree, or is there something I'm missing?
Yeah, I mean that's well, there was lots more as well. The racing was a lot of fine tuning happened with the racing, with the tracks, with the performance, with the handling, but also a lot of the logic that was happening on the client side for not just the racing, but for the rest of the game is now happening on the server side. So a massive security update to stop like any kind of hacking or man in the middle kind of thing. So all that logic is now happening on the the server side, that actually introduced a bug that we didn't quite capture, which the community picked up on very well. I mean, this is the whole point of, having pre-alpha, and that some of the timings looked a little bit off. As you would, every now and again, there was occasions where you could do a lap and it might have been 2 or 3 seconds slower or 2 or 3 seconds faster than it should have been.
Is that how you got on the leaderboards?
Yeah, definitely. See, I avoided those leaderboards. I only did about 4 races.
We were watching and I'm like, who is this Ray Racer? Somebody brought him up. Like, goodness gracious. He just went in and just nailed a bunch of times. His name was all over. It's now looking a little evened out. But
I watched Ray the other day. He was on he was on a podcast. So that was pretty. I'll send you the link.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious who he is. But yeah, there's a ton of good times up on it now. But anyway,
so out of that, we quickly seen that you can flood the top 20 or top 30 if you're. So we already had kind of like a backlog of tasks, and one of them was to group all those. Well, that quickly came to the top. So you'll now see that it is only itemized. We've got just over 100 individuals at the moment, which is pretty good for launch. So we know that when we start doing the competitions on that red track, there's going to be at least the top 100, which you need to get practicing if you want to be in that top list. But also we are aware of the couple of seconds bug. So we're actually working on a hot fix that hopefully should be out by the time this episode is there. It will mean, unfortunately, with that, we have to wipe the database scores, not just for racing, but also for holocaches as well, because we trapped a bug with that as well. So we're sorry about that, but this is what happened when it's early testing.
Yes.
We will have to do this in the future as well for the 3 things that are now in the database are the avatar settings. So all that is now server side. The racing time, that's all server side. Holocaches is all server side. The only thing that still remains on the client at the moment is the inventory system. So when that moves over, which I think should be the next build in a few weeks after Vegas, when that goes live, your inventory will be wiped. It'll appear wiped. What it means is instead of reading locally, because it's a local file, it'll be reading from the database. But from then on, we shouldn't need to do that.
Yeah, this is a process that, because it was new, we're adding in this database and we're going server side.
Yeah,
there's a lot of just communication with the engine, all sorts of things, APIs that create so many variables and complications.
Yeah.
But now that one was done, we were able to add the others, like you said, more quickly as you get better and better, which is always a good thing. It's like that first Solace was incredibly long to build. The second Solace was like 20% of the time to build.
But these early systems, I mean, what we're doing is we're saving them locally to a file, because that just means 1 or 2 developers that they can build them in isolation and they can test and run it. Obviously, when you start hooking that up to databases and APIs, there's more people now in the chain. That is then going to take longer to do. So you perfect the module or the feature, and then you integrate it. And we'll see more of that actually as we start releasing Solace. We'll see more features, but they won't go initially into Solace. They will go into other parts of the game as we'll talk about later.
Agreed. I want to add 2 final things. Emphasize your point. You mentioned performance on racing. What that actually meant is David and Kai, I believe, went in, or I'm not certain on that, but they went in and really got in there, looked at the code, everything, optimized it for performance. And now you can have 8 people racing easily, 10 people racing without any sort of performance issues or lag. There were a few little issues prior, but now it's pretty clean. I think we're getting good reports on that functioning incredibly well. And that's even, at 1,000 miles an hour with me racing you and 6 other people, and I'm in the United States and you're in the UK. So that data has to travel a long way, and the vehicles are moving incredibly fast. So this means we're optimized incredibly well. So I'll just emphasize that point. I think they did a phenomenal job on that. And then the other one was, how could we forget the Avatar 2.0? I mean, that has a ton of new changes that give us massive outfit flexibility, changing the colors of the outfits, changing the tops and the bottoms, beards, obviously, and fun stuff like that. So I think they did an excellent job with the Avatar creator as well. What about you? Have you created your new character?
No, but because we've now got presets in there, I can quickly go into presets, do randomize all, maybe 4 or 5 times, find a good one, and then jump straight into the game. And
that's what I did.
And I think that's really good, really good for people that might not care or just want a quick experience, and then come back later on, just might want a quick game. So we're bringing these tools in bit by bit, but I think we're also looking at maybe doing one tiny tweak to racing, but we need your feedback before we do this. And that is, we know that if you're racing and somebody flies into the back at you at like 1,000 kilometers, you will instantly explode. You won't even know about it. They will go flying past. And that's just racing. That's just normal physics. We're feeling that we might nerf that. I've spoke to David at this.
That's definitely.
That maybe you could just fly through them, and it'll give it more of a. It'll just stop people. It'll just stop.
I don't know about fly through them, but removing some of the damage impact so that it's not an instantaneous explosion. And honestly, I think being that the the responsibility is more upon the person that's behind the other, right? If you're driving, like if you're going to real world. Well, that being said, sometimes you approach somebody so fast when you're flying 1,200 miles an hour that you don't have an opportunity to react. But that still, the person in the rear should have probably more damage, not the person in the front just gets instantly exploded.
We're looking at more on that red track when there's like 8 of you and you're all heading for that really tiny bendy corners.
And so the issue there, which unfair. I don't like, is if you're a competitive racer and you really want to get that, you want to win, well, it adds way too much luck currently where, oh man, I lucked out. I didn't have anybody bump into me and I got there's too much luck, becomes too high of a variable. So what Rob's talking about is, how do we reduce that down where it's a little bit less luck involved in winning a race? But that's also why, which brings me to the tournament. We paused it, and I think we're about to re-begin that with the next build, correct? Okay. We paused the tournament just because we needed to fix a few things. But like when we rebuild that, the way that the tournament is structured is so that you have a long period of time to get, the more you race, the better chance you're going to have of getting that top time and being in those top positions to get into the finals. So it's cool. I think our structure makes it fair despite that issue that you bring up, because
and I think if you are for or against that change, while you are liking, subscribing, just add that little comment to this video down below.
Agreed. Yes, thank you for that. Okay. That pretty much covers the recent release. That was a doozy, man. The amount of problems we had for
the crazy thing is, in a fraction of the time, or it will appear like in a fraction of the time, when the next build comes out, you're going to see Solace. And you'll be like, how have you done this in like 4 weeks? And you'll be like, not.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So the next build has been in development really for 2 years.
Oh yeah, it started in UE4, and
Yeah.
then the
Well, no,
concept, the
it's well.
prototype.
I would say it technically started in when we started UE5 is when we started building
Yeah,
software. Yeah,
prototyped, and
yeah,
then we really started in
yeah.
UE5.
So
So 2 years, just under 2 years.
yeah, so a ton of stuff is coming together right now. That demo that we saw this week,
Yes.
I can't say some of the words that you said in reaction.
Yeah, you'd have to beep.
Yeah, we'd have to bleep them out, but and I felt the same exact way. It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Mhm.
This, I am so excited to play this game in its final version, which will be forever. But like, I can't wait to get in there and
I'll
travel.
find my notes.
The world travel system is just so freaking cool. You're finding your notes?
I'm gonna find my notes. Yeah, because I wanted to kind of write down what was actually happening on. Well, what happened was I was just chatting with David and saying, look, where are we up to? And then he started to describe, I can't find my notes to be fair, to describe what's going to happen in this new build. Do you want me to go through? Do you want me to tell you? But that resulted in, well, why don't I just show you? So while he brought up the editor, I was like messaging you, are you around? You need to come and have a look at this now. And I couldn't get hold of you. So I just quickly started pressing recording the meeting.
Which I've now seen the video. Thank you for recording that.
So what he described and what I actually saw was you start off in Kalido. You then get in public transport. So it's not the world breaker. You get in the public transport. You fly across to the cloud gate. You kind of Star Wars motion quickly zoom through the sky, come out at the other end of the cloud gate, and then you approach, and then you enter into the parking bay in this new sector hub. So the sector hub, imagine
you hit record after that cloud gate, because I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I didn't see the cloud gate. He took me to the bit after that.
Okay.
Remember, it wasn't a playable version. It was in engine, so he was dragging it. So I had, actually, to be fair, I had an even better view, and you saw this as well. We saw like the 10 mile in the air view of Solace and moving around and going in and out. Whereas the players, they'll have to walk and do this experience.
Yeah.
So we landed in the sector hub, which is this brand new section where players' apartments will be. And it has three kind of entryways into Solace. So you get in the sector hub, you get out of the public vehicles. Eventually, you'll be able to go up to the top of this. It's almost like a custom dome where all the apartments will be. That's not quite ready yet. But then you go into the G, did he call it a G station? No, the G station comes later. You go into a monorail, so you go into a tram, and this is the bit where he actually played in engine. So I'm now sat in a monorail, going from the sector hub to from the landing bay to this central location. And what you do, you actually decide whether you're going to go to Solace 1, 2, or 3. So I've decided that beforehand. Very much like Westworld. You go in Westworld and you go in the train, in the modern one. So you go in this train, whichever one you want, 1, 2, or 3. And then it must have been like a 2-minute journey, and we can speed that up or we can slow it down.
We need to speed it up. It was longer than 2 minutes, but
yeah, and you can look out and you can see the other Solaces, and you're heading towards Solace, and then you get out at the other end, and then you walk around, and there's some more stuff to do, and then you have 12 different lifts. And these these lifts are like currently within the hotels where you go to racing, and each of them correspond to one of the towns within whichever Solace you're going to. So you go into the lift, that you then hit a loading screen. So this is the first point you hit a loading screen, and now you're into Solace. And when you're in Solace, you got the whole of Solace to go to. You can run around on foot, or you can get back on this overground train now and go to the different towns. No loading screens whatsoever. Or the whole of Solace is just complete free roam. And then you can come all the way back and go into Solace 2 if you want, come all the way back, Solace 3, come all the way back. go to Clido Valley.
Yeah,
It was incredible.
it is
Few
incredible. It just inspires. I don't know, so much like excitement, and it's incredibly creative. I can't wait to get in there and do it myself, and I think everybody else is going to be really fired up about it too. We do believe that we're on track. There are, let me say this with a caveat though, there are so many variables coming together at the last minute. The team is swamped, and but we do believe we're on track for people being able to do this at Rare Evo.
We're trying, yes.
Yeah.
15,
Yeah, so
15 to the 17th of August.
Yeah.
3
Correct.
weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 weeks playable Solace.
Oh gosh. We need to tell David to take some breaks, but
Which leads us to a question. Actually, this might be a good time to put one of our community questions in. You know, the DB Cooper question.
Good time for the community questions. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because he asked, you know, when Solace release arrives, so Vegas, you'll be able to play it in Vegas. 1 or 2 weeks later, not that long, it will be on public release. The question is, when Solace arrives, will the coordinates, the locations, the identification tools be included, as David mentioned, to be able to choose in the land grab event? And has he decided yet how long we'll have to explore Solace before the land grab? You know, so those tools.
Okay, so the second question, how long to explore Solace? It's minimum 3 weeks, but most likely a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, before the actual land grab event, yeah.
Yeah, before the actual land grab event. What was the first one?
It was about if there's going to be anything in that build.
Oh, yeah. No, there won't really be much in that build. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Everything we just talked about with the world travel, with exploring Solace, all of that. Yes, there's going to be a ton just with that. That's going to be a lot of fun and just really getting to know the early stages of Cornucopias and exploring. But yeah, with building up your land and those systems are going to go into place afterwards. When we start working on crafting, and then some of this will go into Cornucopias labs. We'll do maybe some mini builds where we'll allow you guys to start testing and give us feedback on some of these systems.
Yeah.
So
the wood chopping and rock chopping and maybe fishing, that will all start in the labs, and we'll get community feedback.
Yeah. And for everybody's, just to understand the magnitude of releasing this world travel system, when this is done, this means quicker world travel systems. When we work on Esperanza, when we work on Fortune, and it also means that the enormity of square footage to explore, it's like you don't have time to do it all. So it's going to create variety for so many different players, which is just huge. But the main thing to know is that, okay, let's say that we're on track for our schedule. This comes out in August. Well, then we go heavy into building Esperanza on the art side of things. But on the programming side, we get into crafting and we get into all the fun things that you'll be able to do in Cornucopias, which should have us very prepared in Q2 of 2025 to do a game launch to mainstream gamers, to be on the Epic Store, all of these sorts of things. So it's an enormous, we're in a really good place where the foundation has been laid and things can really start to accelerate. Very exciting. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you have more.
There's slightly more in the build as well. I mean, you'll obviously be able to walk around all of these Solaces, but there's lots of places to discover where David's put kind of things that are under construction. Some areas you'll be able to see. There's a whole. I don't know if I want to talk about that new area or let them discover it. I don't know. Well, I might let them discover it. But there's things to discover. But also with the land plots, you'll be able to detect where the land are. That'll reveal itself in a few weeks when you go to Vegas. But
with the
alongside
little
that,
the plot reader.
yeah, but alongside that, what we're doing is we're taking high resolution screenshots from inside the game, and we're building that on the website. So the actual land grab itself will happen on the website. So if you've got access to the game, or you can see a YouTube of the game, you can have a look and you can explore for yourself on foot. But the actual land grab will happen in a web browser. So you'll be able to do that on a Mac or a PC, or even on your mobile when that comes out. So they're both tightly linked. So we're working on that as well. But that web page will not be available in a few weeks. We're still working on that.
Part of me is just like, how is all of this going to come together? You know,
the first one always takes its time, but then when you've got all those paths and that, you know, that they've all been opened up, the next one is a little bit smoother. You hope.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm so excited about that. All right, next question.
Oh, we've got some more questions. Yeah, sure. So TK 1903 wants to know, is there, as well, with the Olympics around the corner, I think it actually starts today being Thursday, has there been any upgrades to Rumble Ball?
That's a good question. No, there's not. We're so slammed with everything right now. We know that definitely needs some upgrades and some work. But to deliver on everything we have right now, we need laser focus, because there are so many components that have to come together. But we definitely do. We're not going to abandon that. It's just we're paused on upgrades with that for now. So.
Yeah, Rumble Ball was just a quick proof of concept that we just thought, you know, it's there. You can have it. I mean, looking with hindsight, it's probably a bit too pre-alpha compared with what we've released and called the other parts of the game pre-alpha.
Right, but it's
it will get
a fun thing to jump in eventually. And mess around for a second. Yeah. But it needs a little priority. It needs a little work. Sorry, you broke up for a second. I thought you were done talking. Okay, but so good question. Do we have one more, or is that
well Corny G, I think we covered it anyway. He wanted to know, he's trying to manage his expectations. Will he be able to develop his land immediately after the claim event? And I think, you know, we've just gone through that.
We covered that. So no, but that's it's in high priority of all the activities you can do within Cornucopias. You know, I talked about it a little bit, but there's also just on the art side, adding new content, animals, all of these things to bring life to the world. And then there's the crafting and the fishing and all the different things we want you to be able to do in Cornucopias. So we're almost to that phase where we get to work on all that fun stuff. Yeah. Which is
and in the meantime, obviously now we've got the holo caches and the racing hooked up to the leaderboards, which I think the design is so clean and so intuitive. So, you know, Michael and Jeff have done an amazing job on that, and then the team of hooking them up with the APIs and everything at the back end. So that's all the kind of things that you don't see. Well, obviously you see the visual front end, but you don't see how that all hooks. We'll Copi Ball will start running some competitions. You know, so we're now at the stage where we can start running these competitions for NFTs, outfits, maybe Copi pretty soon. We'll get through, if there's any more bugs or issues with those, we'll get through them, and then pretty soon we're into, you know, remember that is foreshadowing the Cornucopias Esports Racing League. That's just around the corner now.
Yeah. Yes, it is just around the corner. Starting to have conversations with large esports leagues. This is coming into play. Doing small tournaments for Copi prizes is coming into play soon. You know, just all sorts of fun stuff like that. While we build out all of these other areas, which is great. So we're entertaining all the way along as best as we can, which is a lot of fun for us too. I actually got a race in this morning.
Ooh.
trying to do a new route on the red track and practice that. Didn't do so good with it so far, but
So you want to watch Ray Race's route? And,
yeah. Oh, he on the podcast he raced on the
with
podcast.
Faux Hubris, yeah, and Eddie Z. I
Oh
watched
yeah,
him.
I do want to see that. I bet I know the route he's taking, which is enables him to go full speed through the Buttes
I
area.
see exactly the route they're doing. There's no way I can do that. Even
There's no way you can do it.
There's one thing knowing how to do it, but there's another to actually being able to do it.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, I think that brings us up to the leak section of Copi Cafe for this week. And we did have a special guest planned, but we're going to have to table that for now. He had a health issue to deal with, so we'll get him back on when we can. The leak section for today is, well, let's just go ahead and bring it up. Well, okay, what is this? This is our leak for the day, huh?
Yep, this is the leak. So, hidden in this grid are 36 town names from all of the Solaces. So each Solace 1, 2, and 3, have 12 town names. So you have to find them. They could be left to right. They could be on the diagonal. They can be up,
the diagonals down. Are a little challenging the way this is spaced on this one, but yeah, that's good. They need to be a little harder. I see one orange.
Orange? Did you say?
Did
you say orange?
I said orange.
So some of these are double barreled.
There is no orange.
Orange is
orange.
Orange is half.
Orange Falls.
You can't do them for them.
Ah, sorry. Couldn't help it. I had to try one. We got to prove it works.
Yeah, it does for it. I mean, look at the top left, Rocky.
Yep. So I don't. Yeah,
that's not the answer.
It only does it for them when you tell them the location.
Yeah, well, I mean that jumps out.
Yeah.
So what we want you to do is we want you to find all 36, and then just keep spamming us with the answers, and eventually we'll reveal the lot, or we won't. Who knows?
Reveal the what?
The lot, all of them. When somebody guesses them all, we'll say getting hotter, getting colder. I bet somebody does it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, somebody will be fast. I wonder if you could use AI to do this.
Oh, now you've done it. Now it's 5 minutes. Maybe it was written in AI.
I know that was done. Okay. Well, that's a little bit of fun for you guys. It's coming up, where this is the land. This is another phase that we've named the towns. And eventually we'll have you guys, the community, vote on town names and select some names and allow you that sort of feedback. But things are getting really excited for the big release, the next big release coming out. So that's a fun little leak for you. Town names. I'm really curious to know, what town am I going to be close by? What am I going to be in? And where's my property? I'm not going to tell anybody how I'm going about selecting. Just kidding. I don't care. I'm going to pick the most aesthetic and close to a body of water with hopefully a mountain view. That's my...
Yeah. So, I mean, the next time you will see us, you could literally see us face to face if you come to Vegas, August the 15th to the 17th. We'll be in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
The Royal Corn won't make it this year, but you never know in the future. The Royal Corn might be at the Palace.
Caesar's Palace, that's going to be a good one. And yeah, I'm sad that the Royal Corn won't make it to Caesar's Palace, because that would make a lot of sense. The conference is going to be amazing. We won't be doing Copi Cafe until then. So Copi Cafe 100 is a special one. We'll be at Rare Evo for that. And yeah, I'm excited about that. And so we really all are kind of in very intense crunch mode right now, with so many pieces coming together, that we kind of need this extra space for management, and really trying to do everything possible to make sure that we pull this off. and to the level of quality that we always like to release with. So a lot of stuff coming soon. This is the biggest. Yep. This will be the biggest release yet. That's about it. That was silly little dialogue on Rare Evo, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun conference, and there's going to be a lot. It's really interesting to see that they merged CNFT and Rare Evo. That was incredibly beneficial for all of us that felt like we needed to go to both, and it's too much. It's really too much at this time period, especially. So we will, for those of you that can make it to Vegas, we can't wait to see you. And for those of you that can't, we'll see you on the next episode 100, if not in the community or on the racetracks or in Toledo Resort beforehand. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Don't care what you say. I don't care what you say.